Michael Saylor came out and he wants to buy another $750 million. He's been buying a lot of Bitcoin, throughout this time. A lot of times people indicate, every time he buys, it's kind of a local top situation, and we kind of actually dip a little bit more. How do you feel about this news of Michael Saylor continuously buying Bitcoin? Do you think he is onto something? He knows something here, or is this man out of control?
I mean, well, you're asking me, so I obviously
I'm asking you.
I'm very biased clearly towards Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin. So I say, keep on doing what you're doing, Saylor, just keep buying. But it is funny, you mentioned the whole local top thing. And I think the Saylor news, you are a little desensitized to it now. You know what I mean? Like, how many times can we hear that MicroStrategy bought some more Bitcoin? It kind of doesn't really have as much of the Saylor, effect as it used to. And as far as the local top thing is concerned, I do think that maybe we have reached a point where we might be a little bit sort of just like overbought for Bitcoin in the short term, but I'm still not looking for some crazy Armageddon dump like a lot of people are calling for, especially with the S&P and all that stuff. So I think the Saylor news is just kind of like, not like take it with a grain of salt. I don't think it has as big of an impact as it used to be, but I do think Saylor's onto something. And I think a lot of people are going to be upset that they didn't at least take, a similar approach, or at least allocate some of their capital to Bitcoin, because right now with this boring price action, nobody's paying attention. No one's talking about it. They don't realize what's coming right now. You have, if you don't mind, I know this is a little off topic, but just look at the whirlwind of possibility right here. So we have all these ETF applications potentially, being able to give access to all these traditional investors that normally wouldn't want to touch, things like crypto. Then you also have the halving, right, coming up next year. Then you also have the fact that the Fed have been raising rates for how long? And, 2024, 2025, I think there's a general consensus that they're probably going to start reversing at some point, pausing at least minimally and then reversing. And I just say the fact that the Fed, let's be real, has been trying so hard to break something, and yet nothing is breaking. Bitcoin's going up, stocks are going up. I don't know, man. It's it sounds to me like people are like paying less and less attention to that and realizing that, things like Bitcoin and crypto are much better alternatives. So yeah, that's why Saylor's loading up on it, because he realizes it,
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm going to give my thoughts on that same question later. I want Magic Internet Money to take his turn. What do you think about Saylor? Right? What do you think about Saylor buying up this Bitcoin? Is this man crazy, or does this guy know something?
I do think he's a little crazy. Not that I'm not a Bitcoin bull. I'm very heavily exposed to crypto, obviously. But the dude's, track record's not great after the .com crash. So for me, when I see it, I'm like, fuck, he really is a top signal a lot. So do I get excited about it? I remember, like he was saying, back in the bull run, it did carry some weight, where it was like when Saylor bought Bitcoin, it was exciting, just like when Elon bought Bitcoin, So the thing is, does it make sense to buy when Michael Saylor's buying? Maybe, maybe not, depending on your strategy and your outlook, because his outlook is infinite at this point. He's working off of an idea that, my timeline doesn't exist. He's like, I'm holding this indefinitely. We're never selling.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? So, and he's got investors and buyers to do so. And I don't know what his leverage scenario looks like. And I think a lot of people speculate on it. We see headlines all the time that if Bitcoin goes to this, Michael Saylor is going to get liquidated. And it's a cool headline to put out there, but I think that's all that they do. So do I think he's crazy? Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to find success in this world, especially like, generational success, sometimes you got to be a little wild and a little bold. So I hope it works out for him, because if it works out for him, it works out for me.
It's